The day Rome fell, how an empire collapsed in one night. A historical explanation of the night that shook the ancient world. For over 800 years, Rome stood as the heart of one of the greatest empires the world has ever known. Its roads connected continents, its legions enforced imperial power, and its name inspired awe across Europe, North Africa, and the Middle East. But on the night of August 24, 410 CE, the unthinkable happened: Rome fell. For the first time in nearly 800 years, a foreign army breached the eternal city's walls. The invaders were the Visigoths, a Germanic tribe led by King Alaric I. What followed was a 3-day sack of Rome, a moment so shocking that it sent tremors across the ancient world and marked a defining point in the long decline of the Western Roman Empire. Background: a crumbling empire. Though the fall seemed sudden, it was the culmination of decades, even centuries, of internal decay and external pressure. By the early 5th century, the Western Roman Empire was a shadow of its former self. Political instability had led to frequent changes in leadership. The economy was fractured, over-reliant on slave labor and burdened by heavy taxation. The legions, once the pride of Rome, were stretched thin, often made up of foreign mercenaries with little loyalty to the empire. Simultaneously, waves of migrating tribes, pushed westward by pressures from the Huns and other Central Asian groups, began crossing into Roman territory. The Visigoths were one such group, originally allies, but mistreated and marginalized by Roman officials. Alaric and the March on Rome. Alaric, once a commander in the Roman army, turned against the empire after being repeatedly denied promised payments and land for his people. Over the course of several years, he led his forces through Italy, blockading Rome multiple times and demanding recognition, supplies, and territory. The Roman government, weakened and divided between rival emperors and regional powers, failed to respond effectively. After prolonged negotiations and betrayals, Alaric lost patience. On August 24, 410 CE, his army entered the city, not through siege engines or a massive battle, but likely through an open gate, possibly by bribery or treachery from within. The sack of Rome. For 3 days, the Visigoths looted the city. Palaces were stripped of treasures, noble families were taken hostage, and centuries of Roman wealth were carted away. Though not as wantonly destructive as later sacks, the psychological impact was immense. Many Romans believed their city to be eternal, protected by its gods and its legacy. The historian Saint Jerome, writing from Bethlehem, described the moment with horror. The city which had taken the whole world was itself taken. Although Rome was no longer the political capital of the empire, that had shifted to Ravenna, it remained the symbolic heart. Its fall marked the end of an age. Aftermath, a turning point, not the final collapse. Despite the devastation, Rome was not completely destroyed, nor was the Western Empire instantly gone. The empire lingered for several more decades, finally ending in 476 CE when the last Western emperor, Romulus Augustulus, was deposed. However, the sack of 410 CE was a powerful signal. The Roman Empire could no longer protect its core. Its authority was fragile. It emboldened other tribes, shook the confidence of Roman citizens, and underscored the irreversible fragmentation of Roman rule in the West. To many contemporaries, it felt as though the world had ended in a single night. Legacy. The fall of Rome in 410 became a defining memory for later generations. It was not just a military defeat, it was a cultural and spiritual collapse. For the Christian world, it raised questions about divine favor, empire, and fate. For historians, it marks the beginning of the transition from antiquity to the Middle Ages. The truth, of course, is more complex. Empires rarely fall in a single night. But on that night in August, the illusion of Rome's invincibility shattered, and history moved into a new, uncertain age.